Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Hopefully you're having a fantastic day today. If not, I sure hope your day gets a lot better. So the question was asked, what mods do I use? I use mods that make my classic, all versions of Warcraft look the same. Um, and so let me go over them real quick as I've got the add-ons on. Obviously, add-on, it's really good all the way around. Classic Plates Plus. This is a cool mod here. I'm gonna get in a fight with this little wolf here just on purpose. As you can tell, it says my combo points right there. Just let me go ahead and eviscerate. Need to. So with having my combo points there, I like that. It also has a personal resource that you can turn off or on to mimic, the way Dragonflight does. Um, now, I do use Dragonflight UI. So go into my options. I use the Dragonflight UI, which has a lot of settings. I don't use its chat settings because it makes this huge chat area. Um, but I like it because it does let me match retail and classic together. Uh, Gold counter, this is right here, keeps track of the gold I earn every day. It's not going to show you what gold you have, it's just going to show you what you've earned and what you spent that day. So to keep track of your daily, um, which is really nice. So if you need to know what you have, you got to click on your bag there. Obviously, handy notes and a few plugins for it. On lets me know when gear upgrades, better gear than what I have. Then I can look to see if it actually is or not. But it'll have like a little up, a little green arrow that's pointing up right there to let me know that's a better gear upgrade. Um, GTFO, self-explanatory. Better vendor price, so especially in classic, so I know what things sell for. Don't really need it in retail too much. Questy is obvious, you know, kind of got to have it. Tula range, I like having it. That way I can tell when I'm in range or out of range, especially, for throne. It really helps out. I can get up there and I can see when my throne's in range. And as I back away, you can see it going out of range. It also lets me know when I don't have enough energy to hit it, eviscerate, or gouge, or blind, or any of the other abilities I use, or will be using. So Zaga here is a recreation of my classic character, which was Zaga. Um, and another thing, if you get a bag, you can just pull out your bags and drop them in. So I really like how my UI sets up. Obviously, I'm running details. So let's get back into the add-ons. I only use the basic details. I don't need all the rest of it, so I have it turned off. Faster loot lets me just go ahead and loot things without having to, a little loot box come up. Uh, because I have my auto loot on. The sell grays lets me add a couple grays right there, so I can show that one. It doesn't auto repair, but it does automatically sell the grays. And I can set it to what gray items not to sell and stuff. It's got a really, really cool interface to be able to adjust what you want to sell and what you don't. Like I said, it doesn't auto repair, but when I need to sell, I can see that I'm going to need to repair because right here on this little thing, if my UI decides wants to work, this will tell me if I'm injured or not. So I think I need to move that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I use. Oh, the other thing I really love is Raven. A lot of people don't know about Raven. Um, and what's training is really helpful. So I can see what's coming up. And if If I hover over the coming soon, it'll show me that it's 24 silver that I need at level 12. And the total of all my training is 200 gold, a little bit over 200 gold. And so this tells me, you know, what everything costs and what's coming up. So I know what I'm going to need. And I will need all of this, but there are times you may not, you may have to, you may not have the silver, so you might have to choose. So knowing what's coming up so you know what you need to choose is very helpful. Um, Especially like on warriors, I don't, if I'm going to play an arms warrior, I don't really take thunderclap right off the bat. I'll wait and take it later. Um, just because I don't need it at low levels, because it can kill you. It can get you killed by pulling way too many mobs. So yeah, I like how this sets up. It defaults up here, and you can just move it. I just set it to the center and just move it over and then lower it down. So that's basically the add-ons I use. The other one that most people don't know about that's really handy is Raven. Raven lets my buffs move from up here to right here where I can see them. And I can do my cooldown. So I know when my stealth is ready just by looking straight ahead without having to look down here. And that's very useful for, you know, for people who can hit the button or don't have to click on the buttons. My left hand, I don't know if you notice, can see it real good on the camera, but it's bent over. So I can't do a lot of movement on my keyboard with it. So I really have to click on the buttons, but for people that can use the keyboard to do stuff, having this right there where you're looking, you know, where your cooldowns are looking, is very handy. Raven's very easy to set up. I can unlock all the anchors. You can see the buffs and everything. You can add or delete whatever. You can have all the long buffs. It has defaults. You can do them by bars. You can do them by icons. It's very, very easy to use. And again, self-explanatory deadly boss mods and, you know, Atlas loot. Because, you know, Atlas loot in Classic is kind of a must. Another thing I didn't really go over the other day on the last video with this character in it is there are two different specs I'm going to use. First is going to be a leveling spec with the reduced energy cost of Sinister Strike, because Sinister Strike hits pretty powerful. And usually, you know, when I'm going around and I'm pickpocketing and stuff, a lot of times I don't get a chance to get around to the back of my target to use backstab. Because, you know, you can get detected real easy. So I'll come out of stealth with Sinister Strike. And which is why my main bar has Sinister Strike right there. As you can tell, it's out of range, but so I hit Sinister Strike out of stealth, I hit Sinister Strike, or Sin Strike in stealth, then Sin Strike out of stealth, which would give me 2 combo points. And a lot of times at lower levels, 2 combo points and Eviscerate, you're pretty good to go, depending on your gear and your weapons. And speaking of that, like I said last video, you really want a difference in speed. I can swap these around and get a little bit of difference in DPS and get a little bit higher right now. But if I do that, okay, I'll get a high burst DPS, not a high sustained DPS. My first shot will burst out good. My second shot won't. Because you hit with your main hand first, then your offhand, 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 main hand. So it's main hand, offhand, 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 main hand. So as you can tell by 3 to 6 main hand, then 5 to 11 offhand, 5 to 11 offhand, 5 to 11 offhand, 3 to 6 main hand. If I reverse that, I get 5 to 11 main hand, then 3 to 6 offhand, 3 to 6 offhand, 3 to 6 offhand. You hit 3 times with your offhand before you hit your main hand again. So by slowing this down, you really want your main hand slow and your offhand faster. So that's why I said these speeds are kind of reversed. I would want the 180 here and the 210 here. But it still works. And like I said, for leveling spec, yes, I will be taking Sinister Strike. And then I will also be taking Master Deception right afterwards. But if you try to go Master Deception first, at low levels, you really don't have too much of a use for it. Basically because, low levels. But at higher levels, when you need to get past mobs and stuff like that, Master Deception is really well. So for your first few levels, yes, improved Sinister Strike. I don't recommend doing Gouge. So, I'd go here twice, and then I'd come over to Lightning Reflexes 3 times, and then come down to Precision, because this is very excellent. And, keep building down through there on the combat tree, because while you're leveling, it's very hard to do stuff. And this is in Lich King, SOD, all the classic stuff. Leveling, you want to get the least amount of you want to get the most damage for the least amount of energy cost. So improved Sinister Strike here is the good one to go. Now, when I get to max level, I will respec, and I will show you that respec. Because that respec will include malice and stuff like that. But to begin with, to level, Sinister Strike is the better one to take. And come over here and do Sinister Strikes. Improve backstab, you're not going to need that for a little while until you get to grouping. So your first, on Alliance, your first dungeon that you're going to come across is Dead Mines that you can go into. On Horde is Ragefire Chasm. So, you got 15 to set, you got 10 to 15 on Ragefire, then 15 to 20 something on Dead Mines for levels. So you're not going to be doing a lot of backstabbing until you group for those dungeons. And it does depend on if you're Night Elf or whatnot, because then you have the dungeons over there. But that's something you got to think about, is when you're going to group and when you're going to get points. You get a point, you get your first point at level 10, then you get 1 point every level after. And then you could spend those, but wait on things like improved backstab for a while. Get your improved Sinister Strike. Go 2 here, 3 here, go 5 here, go 5 there when you can get it. But that's going to take 15 points, so that's 10. So, look around, see what you want there. Deflection, very excellent. So this is what I would do. For leveling, I would go 2, 3, 5, 5, and then 5. And then depending if I had daggers, maces, that's when I would choose this spec. If you have fist weapons available, swords for humans, very good because you get a sword bonus. But, increased daggers always helps too. And if you're going PvP, maces, gonna be your friend. I wouldn't worry about improved kick right now either until level 50 and above, because you're really not going to get in a dungeon where you're going to need that too much. At higher levels, and let me rephrase, about level 45. About level 45, improved kick will help you out. But until then, skip it. So if you come down here, then you take your sword special. You can take Blade Fury and weapon expertise, very excellent. And adrenaline rush is always good to get. But you can do things in the subtree too. It all depends on what you're looking for. But at first, I will be taking this. I'll be going here, 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 here. Or here, 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 here. That's going to be my first. I'm going to skip Requisite for a while. So I won't need it until higher levels. And then I'll come over here, hit Master Deception, possibly camouflage, but I want improved ambush and improved zap. Then I'm going to come over here for malice. So, as a level, I'll show you the spec at a higher level, what I use for leveling spec, and then I'll respec and show you a shredding spec. So, with that being said, I'm going to get off here. I have some actual work I need to do for my game. Not this game. I'm building a racing game, so I need to actually work on that today. And I'll level up with this character, but I do want to point out some very important things that you need to do. And that's in your skills. You need to make sure you focus on getting your cooking, your first aid, and your fishing up. The reasons is you're going to need these. You're going to need fishing to help with cooking. You're going to need cooking for food buffs. And you're going to need first aid for bandages. You need to really focus on that. And also, you're unarmed. You can tell I nuked here. I did not get my unarmed up. And I should really do that. Unarmed is really easy to do. Just take off your weapons. You can leave your throne in. That doesn't matter. And then you can go up to these cows and stuff and start punching them. And I immediately got an unarmed skill of 2. So I'm level 10. This wolf is level 6. I should be able to kill it, no problem. As my unarmed skill goes up. Your weapon damage is skill based. So the higher you need to make sure you max it out. So the more higher your skill is, the more damage your weapon does. The only problem here is these guys. But I can kind of help myself out by using that. I really don't need port buffs up. But notice as my unarmed skill is going up, I'm doing more damage to the wolf. That's what I want you to see. So as my unarmed skill goes up, unlock that window real quick. As my unarmed skill goes up, my weapon damage goes up. And the damage I do goes up. Let's go do that again with another wolf. Like I said, having bandages helps a lot. So I'm gonna go punch this level 5 wolf. And the reason you want to go ahead and work this up as you level, because and you really say as you level, you get a couple of levels higher than a mob. Get your unarmed skill up, because at later levels, mobs have things called disarm, and you won't be able to use weapons. So if your unarmed skill is down, you won't be able to do any damage, and you can possibly die. So while you're leveling and you get about 2 levels, 3 levels above the mobs around the area, go ahead and start working on your unarmed skill. Get that maxed out. It doesn't take very long. A couple mob punchings and you're done. And as you notice, my damage, every time this went up, my damage went up. And I need to adjust my Raven there, but other than that, that's just pretty much the mods I use, and that's the reason why I use them. So, and there's my repair.
For the Alliance.
Go ahead and lock that window back. But the big thing is about getting these skills up, okay? And I'm going to show this to you. This character has not died at all. Not had one death on this character. Okay? And I'm going to log out here. I'm going to log out in the end so I get some rested XP because I'm a noob. And I'm going to get on this road. Okay, this rogue has better gear, better weapons. And,
I can't wait till this
that's
quest
my
is done and I can
macros
look for another
in.
Garibaldi artifact.
But the biggest difference here is on the skills. Yeah, I don't have cooking. I don't have first aid. I don't have fishing. I'm not getting food buffs. I do got unarmed up a little bit. And I haven't taken the talent yet on it. But this character has died 8 times. Same type of character. Okay? But by not worrying about, trying to rush through and do stuff quick and quickly level, I've died a lot because of that. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. And I've got bunches of rogues sitting here. And I even want to change realm real quick. Nope, not that one. You on this one? I think she's on this one. No, not what I'm thinking about. Yeah, that's a rogue with a hammer. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm totally off my rocker here, so sorry about that. I got on 8ish. I got another rogue there. Oh. That's because I moved my rogue to Lich King. I apologize. I was going to show you that rogue, but I'll show it to you in another video, in the Lich King video. And Lich King rogues start off a little bit different because they start off with dual wield. But still the same basic principles while leveling and stuff like that. You want to make sure you get to cooking. You want to make sure the fishing. You want to make sure you get your first aid up. You may need to spend some time farming in some areas to get the stuff to make the first aid. And you may need to spend a lot of time fishing and cooking, so you may need to farm meats and stuff. So, yeah. Running a leveling spec and an in-game spec are 2 different things, and I will show you both of them. But I'm going to get off here. Y'all have a very wonderful day. Like I always say, be good or be good at it. So let me add to the end of this video. This is a Lich King rogue that I haven't worked on in quite some time. One I was looking for in the other video. I knew I had her. So, got the Defias mask. Awesome. So don't have a helm yet. Hadn't found one. But here's the talents, the spec I chose to run with for leveling. So I have improved signature strike, dual wield specialization, precision, deflection, and lightning reflexes. Because it gives me a 6% chance to dodge and 10% melee haste. The higher your haste is, the better. Also, the higher your hit percentage is. I need to work on my hit rating here. But the reason I took this spec is because I'm actually trained in every weapon I can use. So if I get a weapon that's better than one I got, I don't have to worry about it. This spec covers it. I don't have to worry about, oh my god, I got daggers and, I got swords and, maces. The spec I'm currently running covers every weapon, so it's good to go. I didn't take the sub tree yet, and I will actually convert mostly to sub with some assassin in there at end game on this, and I will show you that when that happens. Like I said, I don't get a lot of time to play Warcraft like I used to, so back in vanilla, I had where I can play for days and weeks at a time. Now I have a few hours a week. But as I level and I get things ready to go, I'll show you what I did in vanilla, Burning Crusade, and Lich King to maintain top DPS. With that being said, y'all have a good day.